Welcome to part 2 of my epic Heroescon haul. We're going to be going over the original art, CGC Slabs, sketch covers, absolute Batman stuff, the works. But before we get into any of that, today is Sunday, Father's Day. Just want to shout out any of the goated dads out there. Happy Father's Day to all of the legends in the community and anybody watching. If you're new here, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you missed the first part, go back after this video and check it out. Tons of signed books, some Scotty Young footage, some Brett Bean footage. If you're wondering why I didn't film as much on the floor this year, I didn't have early press access. They didn't allow presses to be in there 30 minutes or an hour early. So next year, we're going to be set up as reps comments as exhibitors, so I'll be able to get tons and tons of footage. So we're going to kick it right off with something unique and something I just kind of took as a spur of the moment. I have a big stack of these sketch cards. I've been saving my Magic the Gathering blank cards to get sketches on as well. So I just gave this to one of my homies, Michelle. I always butcher her last name, but Overholtz. Geisha Ninja on Instagram. I'll have it pinned and I'll have a link down in the description. I was like, here's a little art card. Draw me something cool. I have a bunch of her prints, tons of stuff signed by her. She's awesome in person. So she drew me this little Borderlands Tiny Tina, and she also drew a little Fallout gun, which was super dope. She's never done sketch cards, so like I said, I was like, have fun with it, surprise me. So I'm gonna start taking these to cons. I am a big card collector as well, so I do have a bunch of binders and stuff so I can fill these up with these sketch cards. So again, absolutely amazing for her first sketch card. Love the colors on that. One of the things that I love to do at Heroescon is bring a bunch of sketch covers. I go in with some ideas in mind, but I tend to stay away from a lot of the bigger name guys. I have some stuff from them as well, but they are super expensive. So one of my traditions and what I do is I take a little bit of time. I walk around Artist Alley, kind of look at the lesser known artists, guys that aren't published, maybe guys that I'm not familiar of, and whoever immediately clicks with me and fits that style, and whoever I talk to and just kind of vibe with, that's who I get work done with. So I have had tons of success in the past. You guys have seen random sketch covers. I've done covers with other guys, and now they are become friends, people I talk to all the time. So those are the kind of connections and networking I like to build. So I was walking around. I knew I wanted something absolute Batman. Walked by this dude's booth, knew nothing about him, Chris Mad. He actually had this Frankenstein on his booth, and the coloring work and the line work is what immediately drew me towards him. So here is all his information. I'll also have it linked down in the or the details. But this dude was awesome. And look at this, dude. Full sketch. I told him to have fun with it. I wanted some crazy absolute Joker. He's never even seen Absolute Joker until I showed him. So he was familiar with Absolute Batman, but he is not reading the series. So when I showed him Absolute Joker, he went wild. He had a ton of horror stuff on his booth. Dude was super cool. If you check out his Instagram, you'll get the vibe immediately. I told him just to have fun with it. I wanted something super budgety, not super expensive, but I also wanted like the full sketch. So I told him to, do some line work, add some green highlights if he wanted. But when I saw this, I had no idea. All the white with the tongue fully colored. This is a full color sketch to me. So all that green. He even messaged me and said he wanted to color this all black to make it pop more. But I think the white on white looks absolutely clean with all the color work. So for his first sketch for me, beyond thrilled. I will be continuously getting work from this guy every time I see him at a con, and I highly recommend you guys do the same. So one of my favorite pickups from Heroescon. Here is one more of the bigger books that I took to the con. I actually got this signed by Scott Snyder at Motor City, so I didn't need to stand in the Scott Snyder lines because they're insane. But this is the all-in special 1 in 25 John Jang variant. If you aren't familiar with this book, this is the first appearance of the Absolute Trinity, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, and of course had to get it signed by John Jang. When he was there at the booth, there was actually a CGC rep standing there, and he's like, oh, you're getting the CGC, right? And I'm like, no, I only do JSA. I don't really mess with the CGC because I never plan on reselling. Plus, I already had the Snyder signature, and he said that there was a guy looking for this exact book with the Snyder signature, and he was offering around like $1,500 cash. The last time I looked, at the time of recording this video, this book was going for around like 600 or 700 raw. There was a couple sales with the Snyder signature at 9.8s that were pushing about 1,000. So now with the Jang signature, I think this is definitely a book that I'm gonna have to do the JSA CGC drop off next time. Keep it in the collection forever. So he said at the time of signing this book, it was one of the more expensive books that he signed. I had it out of the bag. I didn't even care. So love, love, love. One of my favorite covers. You guys know Absolute Batman is huge for me. So having the first appearance of all three is clutch. Now it's time to get into the heavy hitters. Everything in this part 2 has been heavy hitters, but this was one of my big goals for the con. I waited for Daniel Warren Johnson. Man, it was about 2.5 hours, 2 hours. It was insane. The lines were crazy. Heroescon has the space to hold all the people, but definitely the longest lines I've ever waited in at Heroescon. So Felix, huge shout out to them. I love those guys. They had all the Absolute guys together, Dragotta, Snyder, everybody, Heron. They're awesome. I love that company. I support them. I always get their drops, no issue. But they actually posted on Friday, what was it, Thursday night, that Daniel Warren Johnson did a bunch of random sketches, and it was first come, first served to the table. I didn't get a chance to go to his table on Friday. So Saturday, as soon as the door opens, I knew that's the first thing I'm going to get done, get it over with. I got some books signed for the Boss and our Whatnot shows, but they posted some of these the night before, and when I got up to the table, there was 2 left. It was this and an Extremity. And I immediately put my card on the table and was like, let me have that. And everybody was going kind of crazy. You can see what I paid for it right there. So absolutely incredible deal. Love this image. If you're unfamiliar about this, this is from the first Transformers issue when Optimus steps on a deer, realizes how fragile and the humanity of Earth is. Absolutely is saddened by it. He sits down, kneels down, all the butterflies, birds, a whole bunch of creatures are landing all over him. So just being able to own this as a Transformers fan, I am 100% getting this framed and all that. Love the paper quality, just seeing the different line work signed. So huge. One of my grail pieces in my collection. Speaking about Daniel Warren Johnson, you're going to see the theme of me as I put in the work to get these books signed. I don't like to buy stuff online. I don't like to get signed books already signed. So I like to take things with me when I go. So this was another one that I took to Motor City. Huge book. The Felix Annual. This thing is crazy. I thought I had it in the clear backing board. I'm going to have to switch it out. But I actually had this window boarded for the remark right here. And I was just chatting up Daniel as always fanboying over one of my favorite artists in the game. So he actually signed right where the remark was supposed to be. And I was like, no issue, man. I removed the tape, took the book out, and he still slayed a remark right there. So I'm super happy. He even threw a little extra snaz on it. So Daniel Warren Johnson, Scott Snyder. Now I do need the Heron because I was going to try and get Heron and Spicer to sign these up as well. But bro, the Spicer line was like an hour. It never even moved. So I got out of line. Heron was the same thing. They were just too crazy. It was pick and choose. So hopefully next year, I'm all good on Daniel Warren Johnson. I'm all good on Scott Snyder. So hopefully I can add their signatures to the collection. More Felix, more Daniel Warren Johnson. This one I do have in the clear backing board. Love. The Invincible issue #1 reprint, Felix exclusive, limited to 1,000. Sold out in seconds. Got the Daniel Warren Johnson signature in the white. I think that thing pops so well. I was going to put this on the wall in a comic capsule, but I like it being able to see and flip it over in the comic clear. So again, another just absolute banger. Like, dude, banger for the collection. Daniel Warren Johnson's artwork to me is just unmatched with his style. Last signed book before we get into my Grail slab that I've been working on for the past 2 years. This was one I wanted to take and get it signed to multiple people. Same thing with the Boss, but I never had a chance. I only had it with Daniel Warren Johnson. I only had my personal books for me. So this is the annual foil Dragotta Virgin. We got the Daniel Warren Johnson in red. I'm glad he picked red. So hopefully I can get this signed to multiple people. Everybody can do their own signature, own color. And I think this is going to turn out great because I love the foils for the collection. Let's do the CGC JSA drop-off, and I'm so proud to own this book in my collection. When it comes to CGC and grading, I only own like maybe 12 or 13 slabs in my collection, and a couple of those slabs I actually won for free from the CGC pin pull. So I'm not a huge slab collector. I like having comic capsules. I like being able to look and enjoy my books, but there are a few times where I do like to grade, and when I grade, I do the drop-offs, and I always do JSA. I don't do the CGC Witness. It's just extra fees, extra time that I just don't care about. But this book has been on a journey. So this is Absolute Batman, issue number 1, limited to 1,000 in the 9.8. Fan Expo exclusive, limited to 1,000. Nick Dragotta, John Boy Myers, Scott Snyder, authenticated, sketch on cover. So, the story of this book. I bought this book from John Boy's booth at Cleveland Fan Expo 2.5 years ago. Signed it, brought it with me, stayed in the collection. That year at Heroescon, drove 9 hours down there, got it signed, got it remarked to Dragotta, drove back. Fast forward to this year, drove with it to Motor City Comic Con, got Scott Snyder to sign it. Back in the collection, drove with it to Heroescon this year, just so you get the perspective of how much this book traveled and how much I truly care and treat my books in the condition of them, especially with like Absolute Batman. I'm never going to sell these books, but I am just a huge fan of this series. Got the CGC, got it graded. It was actually 24 hours drop off. So if you ever do a CGC JSA drop off or anything like that, I recommend doing that first thing. Doesn't matter if you have one book or you have 500 books. As soon as you get to a con, get in line, get your CGC stuff done. That way you have the best shot of it coming back before you leave. Because if you get there late, maybe a Saturday, later on a Friday, there's no guarantee you're getting your book back by Sunday. Then they have to ship all of it, and that's when the grading costs really add up, is when they get into the shipping. I actually got this back, like I said, in 24 hours. So Saturday afternoon, right before the con was closing, I picked it up. Thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. I knew it was going to come back 9.2, 9.4, but you never know. You never know, especially with modern stuff. It could be a little nick. It could be things like that. But as soon as I saw the 9.8, I was super happy. If this would have got a 9.6, I probably would have got it paid to crack it open and just kept it in the collection raw, all signed up, because I wouldn't want a 9.6, because like I said, this has been kind of a passion project for me for the past 2 years. Fast forward a day and a half, 2 days, when I get home on Monday, scan. If you didn't know, you can always scan the little back, check the grader's notes. This is actually the only one on the census, top population. There's no other Absolute Batman that is signed by the entire creative team, artist, writer, interior artist, and sketched in a 9.8. So I'm only one in the world currently, at the time of filming this video, that owns this. So I could probably sell this, throw it up on eBay for some crazy number. But again, this is going right on the wall. I already have room for it right above my Absolute Batman 9.8 issue number 1. Staying in the PC forever. Maybe sell it one day down the road. I don't care if I get $5 for it or 500,000 for it. It doesn't matter, because this is one of my favorite books in the collection. So that wraps up the entire Heroescon haul. Like I said, I do apologize for not getting enough footage, but again, I didn't have early access. 90% of the con, I was just standing in line, so you guys didn't really want to see that anyway. And doesn't help on Saturday that I thought they were open till 6. I got there at 5:55, and they barely even let me get back into the con to pick up my sketch cover and a couple other things. So that's on me. Didn't get enough footage, but again, I cannot recommend this con enough. Even though it was the busiest I've ever seen it this year, it felt like kind of like MegaCon, but with the space that Heroescon has, it doesn't really matter. It just means you're waiting in lines longer. But that's what Heroescon's about for me. I'm not going there to buy books. I'm not going there to find deals. I'm going there to meet my friends. I'm going there to create memories, once-in-a-lifetime experiences with these creators or artists, and getting books signed, getting original sketches, getting things graded that truly means the most to me in my collection. It's those things that just mean the most to me in my collection that are always worth the time. So you'll never catch me digging at back issue bins. You'll never catch me hunting for deals at Heroescon, but you will catch me chasing down creators, chasing down artists, standing in line for hours. And then when I finally get up in line, even though I've met Daniel Warren Johnson like 7 times, I've talked to him privately a few times, own original art for him, I still am shaky and kind of freak out and fanboy every single time. So in my opinion, if you ever lose that feeling of fanboying, that passion in the hobby of these creators and artists and just being those heroes and whatever they mean to you, if you lose that passion, you're doing things for the wrong reason. So again, we're going to wrap things up. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, share. Got a couple other videos. We got shorts coming up. We are on the road to San Diego Comic-Con. We'll be set up with the Alex Ross booth, the Rups Comics booth, and the Aspen booth. So you can call us the 3-headed monster going into San Diego. So if you missed part 1, check it out. Check the details in the description to all these great artists. Read your comics. Collect what you love. Don't listen to the nonsense out there. But as always, stay legendary. And I hope you guys always find what you're looking for. Thank you.